Blast off.
1.
Welcome to Not Rocket Science. In this episode, learn with us for an interview with the incredible Palestinian-American visual artist Krista Awad, who has over 50K TikTok followers and who has been featured in Time Magazine, Serendipity Labs, and she has a monthly show at the Art Collective. She's incredible. She's been featured in many galleries. We're honored and blessed to have her here.
You're crying. It's not rocket science.
Not rocket science. Not rocket science.
It's not rocket science. It's not rocket science. It's not rocket science. Thank you
Thanks
so
for
much.
having me. That was a very cool intro.
Yeah, of course.
I hope I'm worthy of it.
Oh, you're very
No, it was
worthy
great.
of it.
Great.
you.
I thought
Yeah.
Matty was going to faint half the time in that one, but you did a great. Your intro's awesome. All right.
Well, I'm dyslexic, so I
didn't know.
I pushed through it. I got through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here, Krista.
Thanks for having
we're
me.
honored to have you. Thank you. We actually had an art show last night. It's called Art Collective, and you're pretty much the boss of it. You and Renee.
No, Renee.
Renee and you are the boss. You put the show together, and you have art there, and that's how we actually know each other through Joshua Burge,
Yes.
amazing actor.
Yes.
Yeah, so thank you so much for being here. First off, where did you learn art?
Yeah.
Nice.
So I think a lot of people have this story, but it's, it is what it is. I started when I was a kid, and it was something that I just never dropped. So, and luckily I had parents who were, very encouraging of the arts. So when I was done playing with crayons, they were like, oh, let's bump her up to pastels. Like, like she seems to like painting. Let's get her some brushes. Like, so, and I think with when you love something as a kid, it either like sticks with you or it, you lose it. So I guess I just never stopped. I definitely was a huge fan of like anything like free and accessible. Like Bob Ross's painting was on PBS all the time.
Oh, cool.
That was an easy intro into like oil painting. There was a couple other like free segments too. I definitely had some, basic art classes in my public school, but it was like not anything that could really nurture it. So luckily my parents, when I was in high school, they were like, okay, well, we got to find proper art classes for her. So I ended up studying a little bit at the Flint Institute of Arts in Michigan. I think I was maybe like 13 or 14 then to start learning like, still lifes and painting and oil painting and doing it in a more safe environment than the basement. So
Right.
you should always oil paint with a well-ventilated area.
Good. That's good advice.
Yeah.
Did you know from experience?
Yeah. I learned it when I don't know I think they might have been my older brother Jason's oil paint sets, because I didn't even know they were oil paints.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought they were paint. And I dug into them, and I was like, oh, I'm pretty dizzy.
Oh, you got dizzy?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
And
I'm
then
sorry.
I think I don't know if I like fainted or whatever, but I got pretty sick. And then my mom was like, you can't just paint with these in a closed off room.
Yeah, it needs to be ventilated.
Yeah, so definitely, learn the basics of oil paint before you just dive in. So
You grew up in Michigan, correct?
yes, Flint,
Where in Michigan?
Flint, Michigan.
Flint. Oh,
Yes.
very nice, very
Yes.
nice. Is that where most of your family still is, or a lot of people
Um,
moved around?
yeah, we're kind of all over the place, but my mom and my dad are still there, and my other brother Monier is still there.
So they supported you throughout this whole endeavor. That's so great.
Yeah, I feel like, there was definitely some, I don't know. I guess I didn't really have any pushback. It was more so just like, where I wanted to go to school, because I was, young and didn't really understand, because I did get into like really like Ivy League schools, like, Parsons, RISD, whatever, Columbia, like all these really
me
nice,
too, all of the same
all
ones.
these really nice art schools.
Yeah, I got into those. You knew that, Matty. All
No,
three.
you did.
But they're out of state tuition and all that. I just like the money, I didn't even comprehend it, how ridiculous it would be.
Oh, sure.
So I ended up going to Grand Valley State University, which is a great accredited university for art school.
Where is Grand Valley State University?
It's in Grand Rapids.
Michigan.
So, yes.
You're a Michigan, all Michigan.
Well, it was cheaper
Yeah, I
to
feel
stay
ya.
in state.
Do you do the hand thing with where you're from? A lot of
Yes.
people. Can you show us where you're from on your hand?
What's the hand thing?
You don't know this. It's
No.
a thing. People do.
So it doesn't
Oh.
work when I have my brace
Oh,
on. but
well, maybe
Oh
the other
my
hand.
gosh.
Oh, it has to be that
it
hand.
has to be this
no,
hand.
no, don't.
Or you could show me on this hand. Where
Yeah.
is it? The right hand? Oh,
Just
there
be
we go. Here we
careful.
go. Yes.
No, it's fine.
Okay,
It's
okay.
mostly for like lifting stuff
Oh,
now.
okay.
So Flint's right here,
Yeah.
and then Grand Rapids is way over here.
See this? Did you
Yeah.
know this? That they did this?
Yeah. All the
Everyone in
and then-
Michigan has a hand where they live.
for the
Oh.
what is it? The Youpie, the Youpers. We can't leave. Everyone leaves the Youpers out.
Let's not
So,
do that.
They're up here.
The Youpers are up there. I don't know what Youper is.
Yeah.
Is that bad
Upper
to not?
Peninsula.
Upper Peninsula of Michigan.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And Canada's up there too, somewhere, right?
It's like, yeah.
So
and then
it-
also near Detroit.
See, and did you notice when she was saying things, it was always with the hand still, like near Detroit. It's so
Yeah,
interesting,
yeah.
you Michigan folks.
I never really thought it was like an endearing thing until I moved out here. So I realized Californians are like, oh, do the hand thing.
Yeah.
Sorry, are you
I'm not-
Californian?
No, I'm actually from a little town close to Michigan, Minnesota, Minneapolis.
Oh, okay. So you're Midwestern.
I
That's
am
cool.
very much so. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. So speaking of your hand, how is your hand? Because I know you actually hurt your hand, and now you paint with your.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Yeah. So I was in a car accident in 2021, and oh man, car accidents are wild. I've never been in anything like that before, so I highly recommend that no matter how you feel after it, you just go to the hospital and get checked out, because your body like goes through such an adrenaline rush where you think you're, oh my God, I'm fine. Like, thank God I'm fine, you know?
Yeah.
And it was just like I was so covered in bruises. I
Oh
was
my
so
gosh.
covered in bruises. Luckily,
boy.
that was I didn't have anything broken, but that's also kind of frustrating because sometimes breaks are easier to treat. So my hands were really swollen from the airbag.
Oof.
Oh man.
So I didn't really notice it until about 3 months after the accident, that like after the swelling went down, that like my ability to like grab things was just gone. So like this ligament that stops your thumb from going, it was gone. It
Oh
was
my
just
gosh.
completely torn. So like I noticed it too when I wanted to start painting and stuff. I was like, it's not. I definitely couldn't even grab things. So.
and
I've
that's your dominant hand.
Yes.
What you paint with.
Yes,
Oh.
highly recommend. No matter what you do, you use both your hands. So like, I've learned.
Oh, so you can do. So you're able
so you're
to.
ambidextrous a bit.
I gotcha.
Like, so when something happens to your dominant hand, it's not such a soul crushing event. Like now I always brush my teeth with my left hand, or I just I try to just use my left hand for more things. I try to write with my left hand.
Do
So
you
you
feel like
you paint with your left hand now.
I do now.
Right?
I
Yeah,
paint with
yeah.
my left hand now. So
you're pretty comfortable with your left hand? Then you can kind of go
Well,
with both of them.
She can paint with it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's pretty
One
great.
of her
That.
pieces.
Yeah.
Well,
Incredible.
I am left-handed, and growing up as a person with left-handedness, I have always been taught right-handed things because I think people are just like, well, just do it right-handed, or for batting, for baseball batting, also anything kind of like that. And so it's fun. It's interesting that I might be able to do certain things that I just realized. And I like this. We have two things now that we've learned, that two recommendations. Ventilate when you paint.
yes,
Yes.
Use both hands when you can.
yes.
Yeah. That's
all gonna
great.
be
really
rhyme,
great
and-
The
advice.
brushing the teeth is actually a really cool, simple one because it's something to do with the way your brain works too. Because what I'm learning is the difficulty with using your left isn't necessarily that your left isn't capable. It's that your brain just, the way it's wired, and it's been wired since whatever your dominant hand is, it just needs a little rewiring. Because I remember one day when it was so hard when I first started painting with my left, And then a few whatever sessions later, I just like felt it like just click, where it was like, I think it was almost like I stopped thinking so much and I just let my hand and the muscles in my hand take over. And it was a really cool feeling. It's like it was kind of that disconnect that I was feeling before was just like gone now. And like all the muscle memory I have in this hand was like being transferred over to this hand.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it's still not like for fine detail and like my more like surrealist type landscape works, that's still a little tricky, like that. But for what I want to do with it, it's you know, it just takes time. So
Sure.
That's incredible that you persevered and you were still able to do your artwork. And
Yeah.
that's
I
really
mean,
amazing.
I realize it's
Like a hero story.
it's also very important to my mental health. I realized when I was, because I didn't, when everything was like still bruised and swollen, I obviously wasn't doing anything. And then I know this is like not, my dog passed away like a month after this accident.
Dear God.
Oh my gosh.
So I was
So
not in
sorry.
a good state.
Who would be?
Yeah, but the thing that usually gets me out of a state like that is making art.
Right.
So I had two big things that were missing in my life, and luckily, you know, we mentioned Josh, my partner. He, you know, has been with me every step of the way, and he was like, well, just, you know, maybe just try with your left hand, you know, and just slowly just get back into it. Don't have a lot of pressure. Like, take your own advice. So on my TikTok, I'm always making more like minimalist, basic kind of art to help intro people to get over that daunting fear of like, it doesn't look the way it should. It doesn't look the way professionals make it. And that's not what art is about. Art is about finding what you make, what you look like, you know?
Yeah.
Feel ya.
So anyway, I had to take some of my own advice, and then once I started diving back in, it was my mental health started getting better, and I could, you know, keep working. So
That's great.
Baby
yeah.
steps.
Yeah, baby
Yeah.
steps.
And you know, it's okay to give yourself that leeway. Like, give yourself time to, you know, feel whatever you're feeling, but it gets to a point where it's like, if your routine is so broken, like, try to find your baby steps back to your routine.
Good Lord, what a
great
year
advice.
2021 was for you there. Is that the year you said?
Yeah.
Good God
Yeah.
almighty.
So, not to make it a little bit longer, but I
Yeah,
needed a second surgery.
Oh,
so
criminy.
I ended up having 2 surgeries. But I will say this, as daunting as it was to go through all of that and then hear from the doctor, like, I think we need to go back in, as like daunting as it was, now that I'm on the other side of it, I'm so glad I did it, because like, I'm grabbing things and my brush, it's like already I'm noticing it's back. It's going to be 100%.
When was the last surgery you did?
In November.
Oh, so not too long ago.
No, that's why the scar's kind of fresh still. So.
Oh, I didn't even notice a
Yeah.
scar. But yeah, I noticed you have cool nails. I noticed those. Those are cool.
Yeah, did it myself.
You did? Well, you kind of are in the game of
It's
painting.
actually
and
harder than it looks to paint your own nails.
I would assume, yeah.
Anyway.
That's it's an incredible hero story. In my opinion.
Thanks,
so,
Betty.
yeah, you persevered. What was the moment that kind of sparked your interest in art? Like, is there a moment in your life when you were younger that just kind of sparked you're like, I know I want to be an artist. What was that moment for you?
Oh, it's so silly. First of all, I was a nature kid, but I was also alone a lot. My 2 older brothers, there's a bit of an age gap, and we had this beautiful weird oasis in Flint, Michigan, where it was like a whole acre of like forest and woods and stuff.
Cool.
So I would always just spend like time in the woods, like either building a tree house, whatever, and then like eventually I would just bring my own, like I said, I always kept drawing and stuff. So then I would draw nature a lot while I was out there. But then it's also like, as I got older, I started noticing nature was like there was a lot of not natural things. So again, it's kind of funny to see that progression of when you're a child and everything's so bright and shiny and fantastical, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, that's like a dumpster junkyard.
Right.
That's like an abandoned old blown up car, but trees have grown over it. So like I feel like since I was by myself a lot in this like weird kind of, I don't want to say urban decay, but a kind of urban decay setting where it's like, I don't know. I think I just ended up creating my own worlds there, and I loved that. And then I started playing video games, and I love Sailor Moon. So when I realized Sailor Moon was animation and that's art, I was like, oh my God, everything is art. Like, I couldn't imagine not being a part of, or being a part of it. I guess there's
part of art.
Yeah, I guess there's
a part of art. That was cool of me.
That's really.
That was cool that I said that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Matty. It was cool. He said that was amazing.
Yeah,
he doesn't ever say stuff like that about me, so that was cool. A part of art. He liked that, didn't
Yeah,
you?
that was good.
Thanks, bud.
Yeah.
That's cool of you.
A
part of art.
part of art.
Thank you so much, Matty. That's cool.
Okay. Thank you, bud.
Thank you so much. That was cool of you.
I love how nice you guys are to each other.
Oh, thank you. Thank
We
you.
love
Well, thank you for, you're so nice too. So it's our Midwest thing.
Actually, Matty, I don't know where are you originally?
New Hampshire.
Oh, okay.
Midwest there?
But my mom is from Indiana. So
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So you do have the Midwest.
yeah, I have like the part of Midwest in me.
Where in Indiana is she from?
Anderson.
Anderson, Indiana. Have you been?
Yeah, I love it.
What's going on in Anderson? Small town?
Small town, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Bunny
this-
rabbits and stuff?
I know. I
This
didn't
is
mean
her
to.
interview.
I didn't mean to interview
No,
you.
just like
too,
bunny
but-
rabbits, stuff like that in Anderson?
I don't know.
Yeah, deer? Yeah, deer in Anderson?
I think it's very.
think they have
it's
deer.
a rural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if they have bunny rabbits.
So your art is incredible, and we actually have some of your art here. And what would you don't touch?
I'm not
anything.
touching anything.
Luckily,
You know-
I listen. I varnished that very well, so he can touch it if he wants.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, don't.
Yeah. It's okay. It's okay. Actually, I don't know if there's a glare. We tried to pick one that didn't have a glare. Now I think it has a glare.
I'm not touching anything. Leave me alone.
Listen, so there are some
Can
really
you tell
well-known
us about
artists. Yes, there are
Yeah.
some really well-known artists, though, that make a point that when you go to their art exhibits, you absolutely can touch the art and you should touch the art.
Oh wow. Okay.
Ernesto Neto. You should
Yeah,
check
I know
him
that
out.
guy, Ernesto Neto. I
should
met.
check him
He's
out.
my neighbor.
Yeah.
We share storage space. He had a cool bike.
So tell us about this piece. How would you describe what this piece is, like stylistically wise?
Well, it's definitely my own style, but I reference a lot of surrealism. I
Okay.
reference a lot of let's see, not the Baroque period, but their coloring is probably like neoclassical kind of, or the Pre-Raphaelites. I like the Pre-Raphaelites color a lot. And so this piece in particular, it reminds me of home, where it's kind of not alien-like, but like when nature does start taking over things, and they build their own shapes, but it's like a weird shape because it's not like what it naturally wanted to be. It like grew around, like, I don't know. Again, I say abandoned cars a lot because I'm from the motors. Like Flint is so many cars everywhere. So, but yeah, so like, the way these plants form and stuff, it becomes alien-like, but it's like on our planet. So, and I love the bright colors.
I do too. What's a Pre-Raphaelite?
Pre-Raphaelites, it was like, how do I describe their color?
It's a color.
Well, no, it's an art movement.
Okay.
So
That's all right if you don't know I just never heard that.
I'm
before.
referencing it.
Is there any post-Aphrodilites? No, I'm just kidding. No, I've never heard. I might not know what it is, but I was just wondering. Can I look at it and see what I see, and see if you can tell me if I can see it?
Yes.
Because I don't know if I have an eye. I have to open my eyes first. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
All right, up
Don't
here.
touch it.
Shut up! You were the one touching everything. Stupid.
You can touch it.
I would not. I respect art. This idiot doesn't know what art is.
He makes art.
Oh yeah, makes art. My took us. I make art. This guy's sitting around scribbling.
Remember when I said you were nice to each other?
Oh yeah. Nice
What
to
happened
you.
to that?
Nice to see you.
It was
Nice
like
to you.
just
2
turns
minutes
on a
ago. That
switch.
was
Well, I get
2 minutes
mad
ago.
like a
because he say,
switch.
"Don't touch art," when I never would touch art, and you know this because my
You
old
touched it earlier.
my neighbor said I could touch her art
You're
too.
stalling.
No,
You're stalling. You
No, I'm
don't-
not stalling.
you don't
Are you
know what
kidding
you
me? I'm
see in
not
it.
stalling. Tree.
Okay.
Is that wrong?
No, there's no wrong or right answer.
Okay.
It
I
can-
feel like a tree's in there, but it's a space tree.
Okay.
And then this, it's just like a nice. It's hard to describe things, but it's like. How do you do the brush stroke like this?
Yeah.
Round. It's hard to tell, but I see some like. That's what I feel up here, and then this I feel like kind of like foggy, something foggy's happening.
Yeah, the depth.
Yeah, like
Kinda
there's something
the
going
illusion
on
of
in
depth.
there. Little like smoky vibes.
That's what I kind of love about paint is it's at the end of the day it's still just paint, but you're getting all this imagery from it.
Can you describe the painting for the listeners?
Yeah, I guess I should have said what I'm describing.
No,
so
no,
to the,
Krista.
yeah, I'll do it for Krista. I'll describe it for you and the audience. No problem. No, please, yes.
I mean, he's right though. It's just like plants in nature. But again, I like when they look otherworldly, like they're taking over the world, like they have their own life and they have like their own, like I kind of do imagine like, unfortunately, a world like humans aren't going to be here forever. We have already kind of established that we have a finite amount of time here on Earth. But plant life.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
plant life does not though. Like no matter what we do to the earth, I mean unless there's like something crazy catastrophic, but no matter what there will be an ecosystem that exists here. And I like imagining like what that ecosystem looks like and how it's kind of had to evolve over the years and change basically because of what we've forced it to adapt to. But yeah, like in particular this one, it's really just for me it's just like about shapes and colors, negative space, line variation, and I just kind of have fun with it. And I don't really think it needs to be anything specific anymore, and I love that. Like, I feel like when I took away, like, I used to even do a lot of portraits and stuff, and I kind of loved when I moved into abstract, more contemporary abstract art. I really loved that you didn't have to answer the question of, well, what is it?
That's what I like that. That's what I was trying to say when I was describing things like trees and stuff. That you don't have to say it is something.
It's beautiful.
It is.
Yeah, it feels what you're describing. It feels like you're entering your world, like your imagination. It's really cool.
Can I ask you the process you do for creating something like this? Do you have an empty room with just you and the paint, some kind of music?
Yeah.
Or how do you create?
I mean, sometimes I have references. Like, sometimes I'll go, like, out into nature and see a plant and think that's really cool. Or, like, a lot of my color palettes I do pull from nature. But for, like, the start of a piece, I really love doing, especially oils, I love just doing, like, a wash and then playing kind of the Rorschach game of, like, pushing and pulling the tones of the wash. So a wash is like usually I'll do a mix of like burnt sienna and ultramarine blue and really thinned out mineral spirits with it. And so then you can push and pull, just start feeling shapes and movement. And really for me it's always going to be like it's always going to come down to what movement or feeling do I want to capture, and then eventually I'll start maybe if I see like a shape, like I do see maybe like a branch coming through here, then I'll pull it forward, kind of like a Rorschach test. So it's like, what do you see? And I see a butterfly, so it's kind
That's great.
It's fun, but it's also daunting to do that sometimes because it can take a long time to make a well-composed piece that way because our minds are always so scattered and bouncing back and forth, and sometimes it's hard to commit to like one image.
Oh, that's a good question I'm going to have for you. How do you figure it's time to put the painting down and say, this is a done piece of art?
It's a feeling
Great
for
question.
me. Yeah, no, that is actually a really good question because I struggled with that so much. I actually had a professor in school who, at Grand Valley, who was always like, you know, you need somebody who to just come into your studio at night and take away the canvases.
Right.
Because you've worked, there is a point where you can overwork something and you've worked it to death, which that's kind of why it's cool that now we have technology of time lapses. Because now sometimes I watch a time lapse and I can see the exact moment where I should have stepped away.
Oh, wow.
But I didn't because I was like so into it, blah, blah, blah. And then I just see the piece die.
Yeah.
But it's okay because paint is amazing like that because nothing's ever lost. You can always get it back. And especially if you're recording your process, now I almost feel like it's a cheat because now I can be like, oh, it was really good there. So then I can just rework back to that
I like
point.
that you do that. That does. I think for anything creative myself, I'm the same way, only probably seems like more extreme because I will throw things away immediately. Like I'll do things and then I'll create something really cool, not just anything, like writing something, and then I'll just be like, oh, this sucks, and I'll just throw it in the garbage. And that's just something you shouldn't do. You should like look back and like trust yourself. So that's good that
you keep your failures around.
Yeah, I feel like that's good advice. Just have somebody take things away, because then it's just like But I see that that's good that you can watch yourself actually look at something and be like, oh, I should have stopped it there. Yeah. Because you can like visually you can see this is where I should have. This is it right here. That's pretty cool.
Just kind of pivoting here a bit.
Maddie, stop touching her painting. I'm just kidding.
But how do you price your artwork? Like how would you price like a print and say an original like this that we have here? What's the best way for artists to do that?
It's also a hard thing to think of.
It's a very heavy. It's a very heavy, and I will say, it's different for everybody. Like I am all for somebody being like, I wanted $500 for it. That's it, and then they don't, give any reasoning of like time, supplies, and people will pay it because it's about respecting the artist and what they felt, their piece called for. For me, I do have a little bit of a system. I do use a little bit of my time, supplies, whether it was oil paint, whether it was an ink, because ink's a little bit cheaper, obviously. Paper's cheaper than canvas. I also have, I've figured out, kind of a mathematical system for me that works pretty well. But I do hate to put it so down to, just these lame terms of, $1.50 per square inch for, an ink, or, $2 per square inch for, an oil on paper, So, but that is, I did start realizing I needed some consistency for once I started having regular collectors. It was more important. I mean, it's hard because I'm in that middle ground where it's nice to have the consistency, but then I'll see really well-known famous artists just be like, yeah, I wanted $20,000 for it. That's it.
That's it.
I'm like, okay, well, I need to give my collectors a little bit more reasoning and understanding, because also most of my collectors are regular, middle class or whatever people, where they just want to enjoy something rather than no offense to IKEA, but poster art on their walls, And especially I noticed this during the pandemic. It was really a big uptick in people reaching out to me because they were spending more time in their homes, where they were like, oh God, I hate what is on my walls. It gives me no feeling. It gives the room no feeling. And I love this too is, I don't think I have one collector that doesn't look at one of my pieces and just had an immediate emotional connection to it.
That's great.
Yeah. So it's a very, tight-knit community that I have of, people who support me and love my work, but they all have one thing in common, where they were all it just spoke to me. It just and I love that they have their own story and their own relationship to the artwork. So I know that was a long answer for that. But I like to make it known that pricing your artwork is tricky, and if you're having a hard time doing it, it's okay, because you just got to find your way to it. And then also what you think is fair. Sometimes I'll gift a piece, or sometimes I'll reduce my rate, because I understand that art is, unfortunately, it is still not a necessity, even though I think it's a necessity for like mental health and your life, but it's not food, it's not water, it's not shelter. So at the end of the day, if somebody really loves a piece, it's hard for me, but I'll try to figure out a way to make it work for them. So
yeah. I've never heard anybody that makes so much sense. It's like this kind of paint is the more expensive paint, so I factor that in. I factor in the time that I used this specific paint and how much paint I used with this time. And the materials, because I don't know if anybody like that just buys art thinks of that. There's like, oh, they're just buying art. So it's like, oh yeah, so that makes so much sense. It's like I used this kind of paint and this many hours, and this is what because it's hard to find worth to something that you've created and taken so much time. So I think that makes sense to me that you would do the materials that you created in some way, shape, or form, because that is super concrete. It makes sense.
Well,
for this painting, oh, sorry.
I just want to say this before I lose this thought, but time is tricky because I don't measure it by like the amount of time I actually spent on the piece.
I see.
Because now I can paint a lot faster than when I was younger, but that's because I've been painting for, 30 some years now. Knowledge
it's
kind of like, yes, this took me, a minute to paint, but it took me like years of studying and practicing to get it to that point. So
that makes sense too.
So time is kind of like, you're paying more for my expertise of like, I would say now I've been like professional about 12 years. I would say since I moved to LA is when I would have really started my professional career. So
that's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That makes sense.
So how much
Stop.
is this piece?
He's touching it again.
I don't remember. I have to look at my list. I actually don't remember. And I don't want to say something and somebody would be like, well, you said it was that on the podcast.
Right.
So
right. That's okay. Well, that's all right.
Well, what is this piece called? Do we know? Is it on your? How do we find this piece if somebody would like to purchase it?
It's called Not Your Nursery.
Okay.
And it is on my website, and also there are prints of that one too. So
where do we find your website, by the way?
It's KristaAwad.com.
Nice.
So
we'll put that up somewhere, right?
Thank you.
Speaking of social media and stuff, you're on TikTok, and you're like a famous TikTok artist,
killing it.
How has that been for you? How is TikTok? Because you seem to really love it and do really well with it.
Yeah.
What was the interest that kind of sparked that? Is it something that just keeps you active and keeps you, like, is it a good way to, it seems like a great way to market yourself.
Well, I don't even just say market myself, but I found a community of people that ended up just expanding, but I still feel very connected to them because unlike other platforms, I always never felt like connected to people. I always felt like I'd post something, and it would get likes, but then it would maybe get like a couple comments. But versus like on TikTok, it's like I don't just get comments, I get conversations. Like I get people asking me questions, or people just more curious about, I don't know, what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and vice versa. It's more of a dialogue between people. And also, I wouldn't say it's not always like-minded, because I post a lot of my abstract work, which gets a lot of people talking about how it's not art. And then I have to go down that, I actually engage with some people who are genuinely like curious. Like, I really don't understand abstract. Can you please explain this for me? That I love. Like that, I'm all for that. And that's when I'll do those videos of like explaining my process and stuff. But I think the difference for me is like, especially like you can go live, and when I go live on TikTok, people actually join, versus like the few times I've done it on different platforms, it was like, I don't know. I never felt like I had a community or got connected to people.
That's great. So you're connected.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
connected. That's great.
Yeah, and I feel like, like some of these people I've never met in my life, and now they're not just, some are artists and engineers or whatever other non-art jobs, but my point is like it's like a whole mix. It's of of different people on there.
You're building a little community amongst each other.
Yeah. And
that's great.
I like that, I kind of, throw the Bob Ross out there where it's like everybody can paint, everybody can make art. And I do actually fully believe that. So that's kind of why I like to start with some minimal abstract stuff, because it just gets your creative mind going, and it gets you feeling less scared about like making art, because
it's fun to look at. It's just fun to look at. It sparks your brains, your neurons.
Well, I'll also say this compliment to you. I feel like you're very easy to talk to, but I think you're kind of, I don't know if the word open book is what I'm trying to say, but just like you seem open, and there's like a truth-telling serum about you. You know what I'm trying to? You seem.
No, it's true though, because you don't really get that. At least my experience with the fine art world, it was not that experience. So I tell people that what my struggles are. I tell people that it is hard. Yeah, I do. I'll waitress. I'll have work, but I'll work other jobs. But just because you have to work other jobs does not make you less of an artist. Like,
no.
I always saw this like weird disconnect in the community of like, if you're not a full-time artist, then like you're it's a hobby for you. And I'm like, no, if you are on a walk and you notice the color and the light and you are interested in like recreating that visually, you're an artist. Mm-hmm. If you have an emotion that you don't know how to put into words and you decide to use paint, you're an artist. Like, there's so many other ways to be an artist than this like black and white.
Yeah.
And I hate that.
And I would also argue you're not an artist if you're having an opinion about somebody else's life like that. Meaning, like, what do you know? Just go do art then. Why are you telling me what an artist is? You do your art, let me do my thing. Then I won't be an artist. Fine. But I think it's funny when people have, like, very distinct, like, you're not an artist if you do this. Really? Well, how do you know? What do you know about anything?
I'm surprised at that, like, the really passionate people who are like, go get a real job, like I've like on the internet, like
they want you to get it. They want you to
Troll.
just have some kind of job.
Yeah, and I'm just like, well, okay. I mean, I've waitress. Is that real enough for you?
And how did you find me? Like, why are you here right now? Get a real job. What is this? So literally, somebody found you. They typed in
multiple
typed in
people.
Abstract art or something in that, and then they're just like, it's like, what you gotta go do your job, sir or lady. What are you talking about me job? Why are you commenting in my world?
Yeah. It's
Matty, stop touching her art. He's just rubbing his fingers.
Stop thinking it's food and water.
You're a weirdo.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what you just said. I'm proud of you though. You're a good man.
You are too.
So tell me a little about this Anderson and the bunnies with your mom in Indiana.
So, what's your mission statement as an artist, would you say?
Oh, you mean like what I want people to oh gosh, a mission statement.
If you don't have one, that's all right too.
I guess I kind of do. I guess I kind of, at the end of the day, it's and anybody can be creative, and anybody should feel free to explore their creativity. Because I feel like I found, especially in school, I've had a lot of no's. I've had a lot of, like, you're not going to have a career. You're not going to be able to do this. Like, so many no's. And I'm so glad I didn't listen to them, because I realized, like, what makes me happy is making art. And, I am lucky that I'm now able to make a living from my art. But that's only because I didn't listen to those people. So, and I just was stubborn and just kept going. So I guess it's not a mission statement, but don't listen to the naysayers. If you love it, do it.
Yeah.
That's so true.
Yeah.
This is a funny thing. When I was in, I guess, high school, I told this teacher, I was like, I want to do something in entertainment. And this teacher was like, she must have been really into LeAnn Rimes at the time. She's like, who do you think you are, LeAnn Rimes? And I was like, no. But yeah, I've had naysayers and all that. Have you, Matty?
Oh my God, yeah, my whole life, yeah.
What do they say? LeAnn Rimes?
Or just, just people that believe you can't do it. Like
when you were growing up?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like you just have to stay the course, and yeah, I'm just not in. Everyone here, we seem like we're not built for a 9-to-5 type job, so I am not at all.
I've
But
tried.
yeah, for sure. Well, thank you. That was really nice and inspiring. I appreciate.
By
that.
the way, you do have a mission statement. That was a good mission
Yeah,
statement.
that
Was
was
it?
very
Okay.
good.
Oh my God! You were like,
On
I
the
don't
fly.
have one, but here's a really good
Here's on the fly.
concrete, make sense mission statement
Yeah.
right
Well-
there. But yeah,
I mean, I guess when you're creating art every day, you have to look inside yourself a lot, right? So you do learn. I mean, you learn quickly, like, what is a hard yes for you and what is a hard no for you. So I
you
guess
have an
that's-
opinion.
Yeah.
I feel you.
Yeah.
By the way, guys, I under this shirt I have some. I realized I forgot I did
What?
wear it. This is very good art show.
Ah.
Oh,
Luna
yeah,
Luna.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
know what that is?
Yes.
Oh my God,
I
it
haven't
was so-
gone yet, but I want to.
Oh my God, it was fantastic. It's
They have the Keith Harington Ferris or not-
yeah. So they have Basquiat, Keith. They have all of these specific artists that created. There's a gentleman in, I think it was Germany, created this artistic fine art carnival.
Yeah.
So they have like Ferris wheels, and it was really cool. And I forgot that I was
That's
wearing this
awesome.
shirt. It's so funny.
Yeah.
But it's downtown. I don't
Art
know.
you can touch.
You can't. No, they don't want. It's
They don't let you touch it?
well. What happened is it was lost. It was lost art, so they decided not to do it. So it was in something like from. It went from Germany on a train all the way to Texas, and it's been there since like 1983. So somebody realized
That's
it
the
was
year I was
it was
born.
it was like folklore. Like, oh, there was this thing where all these like really like artistic like graffiti, like Salvador Dali isn't graffiti, but all
Okay.
these artists did this, and they're like, I think there is a place. So somebody did the research and figured out where it was, and then Drake, the rapper, bought it for like $100 million and
Wow.
put it up. You know?
That's really cool.
It's
So-
very cool.
So you've been featured in you have some galleries you've been featured in Serendipity Labs and Time Magazine. Tell us.
Well, the time
little-
thing is digital, so it's
Digital,
not like I
okay.
was on the cover of a physical, so I will say that. But
Hey, there you go.
no, the
That
time
counts still.
Yes,
It counts.
Yeah,
yes,
I like
the
it.
timepieces is very cool to be a part of. That started I want to say end of 2021, so like literally like we were mentioning, end of a really rough
Oh my
year.
God.
Yeah.
What a crazy
So you had
to-
turn
you had
of
to win.
events.
It was a rough year, but at the same time, like, I was really just still, I didn't give up. I was still pushing and trying to do everything. So that ended
boy.
up being a collaboration with Deepak Chopra,
Wow.
where he had us do, like, recreate the cover of one of his books.
It's so cool.
Yeah, that was really cool. And
really
then
cool.
like anytime I ever like have a project I want to do or share, they'll like their social media team will promote it. And they're,
Wow.
like in perpetuity, I'm now a
Part of the crew.
part of the time crew. So
That's incredible.
yeah, thank you.
That's
Yeah.
really cool.
They're it's like amazing. Like her name's Maya. She's the president, and she literally will be in my DMs like, "How are you? How's your hand?"
Dear
Just
God.
thinking about
that's
you.
So nice.
No, she's amazing. And then the previous president, Keith, he's the one who called me on the phone. By the way, 8 a.m.
Oh my.
from New York. I was like, who's calling me? Or maybe it was even 7 a.m. because I was like, it's 7 a.m. It's got to be the East Coast.
Right.
You
Right.
know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm so glad I took it because he was like, hey, we wanted to offer you this, to become a part of the Time family. And I was like, I had to
Start vomiting
I
on
had
the
to-
phone.
I had to check and see if like I was like, and Josh was right there, and then he was like, "What was that?" And I was like,
So cool.
I think this is real. I have to double check, but I think this is real. And then all my other I'm huge about this with the gallery shows. So when I mentioned I get a lot of no's. I do. I get a lot of no's, so I make my own shows.
Mm-hmm.
You
That's
know?
right. That's how you got to do
Yeah.
it.
That's
Yeah.
So-
right.
And you know what? When you make your own show, guess who gets the 100% commission?
Who?
You.
Yeah, me.
Oh,
I'm not paying anybody 50%. So.
Exactly,
heck
yeah.
But there is a couple galleries I've always had my eye on. But it's like one day by the time they say yes to me, I won't want them.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
it's like if people, because I talk to a lot of art again on TikTok. I talk to a lot of artists who are like, "How do you get in a gallery? How do you get in a gallery?" I was like, I honestly gave up. I gave up.
Yeah.
I applied and I was losing money on these stupid application fees, and I realized it was a racket just to like.
It's like a scam. It sounds like a scam.
It felt like a scam at the end of the day, and I was just like.
Artist.
So now I do still apply to like group shows and stuff like that through. It's a really nice resource. I think it's called Cafe Art, but I only apply to ones that have very low or no fee, and
good.
they seem accredited.
Right.
Because otherwise, it looks like they're just mooching off of people's dreams, which is so
Exactly.
sad.
Yeah.
It's like film festivals.
Yeah.
And they bought a building.
Yeah.
I mean, you're doing all the work.
So, so at the end of the day, you'd be surprised. You find like-minded individuals, you find other artists you like, and you find a venue, and usually the relationship will form, like with what we do at the Art Collective.
Yeah. How did you link up with Renee?
Well, that was, I think, through you.
Through me,
so
Through you, Matty?
Yeah. So Matty was showing, and I don't know, I don't remember. I think we were either at Andre's birthday or something. It was either way.
Something,
it was,
and I connected you and Renee. Yeah.
With Renee.
Yeah. So Renee was doing at the Ace Hotel at the time, the Art Collective, and now we do it at the Everly Hotel in Hollywood. So
That's awesome.
Yeah,
So
it's
is
so
that
cool.
you have another show coming up? Do you have any shows coming up that you want to plug?
Like, do you do it monthly there?
I think
Yeah,
we are
it's
going
gonna
to
be
start.
monthly,
I think
yeah.
we are starting to do monthly. It's
Yep.
been really good. It's just nice to also get out of my studio and meet people again.
Yeah. It's always nice to meet people.
I realized I became a little bit of a hermit because I've been trying to work with my left hand so much. But I am working on a solo show.
Dun, dun,
Awesome.
dun, dun,
I
dun,
was
dun.
I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna mention the solo because it's still very fresh. But I'm putting it down. It's happening.
You should mention it. Yeah.
So
You put it in there now. It's
so-
going to happen. You got to do it now.
Yeah, so no, it's happening, but it's going to be at the end of the summer. So, and
Awesome.
apart from, I do have a friend who wants to help curate and help PR, produce it. But for the most part, I think I'm making it. We do it ourselves. We find the location and we put it together. So.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm
and
excited. I'll
That's
go. I'm going to
very
go
cool.
to this.
Yeah, that's
my
very
last
cool.
my last solo was at Serendipity, so that I put together too. I don't even remember how I got connected with that, but that's like a work space, which they didn't have any art on their walls, and so they were like, well, would you like to do this for like 3 months, and we'll give you an opening, and then we'll have a closing, and that was great for a long time too. And and again, like they didn't take any cut from my art sales.
That's so cool.
That's great.
Yeah, so it's like they benefit. They got to have art on their walls, and also like what I found was much more like I don't want to say lucrative, but productive with these spaces is there's just regular flow of people always. They're not just in a gallery. Like I get it, people go in there specifically to like either look at art or buy art. But I liked that it opened up my community again to all these different types of people who were like, I was just going in to, have a meeting with, about a coffee company and I loved your work,
Yeah.
So it's like all that unexpected kind of, I don't know, it just feels less stagnant than like this.
Things are happening.
Than this linear, like, here's my art, here's the white wall that you're going to put it on and take 50%. Like, anyway. And I'm talking bad about galleries, but there are good galleries out there. So I don't mean to, I'm not bashing them.
No, we don't think you are at all.
You are at all.
Here's some good galleries I know. The Don Little Gallery in southern Utah. You went there, didn't you, Don Little's?
Oh, yeah, I've been there a lot.
Maddie keeps messing around. Stop touching her art.
Thank you.
Enough.
Thank you so much for coming and talk with us. I think we're gonna do some art ourselves here. You're gonna give us a little
Should I feel
art
nervous
game.
about this?
No, I think we can do something really simple and not messy,
Nice.
because also we don't want to get anything on this beautiful equipment.
Well, I would like
Yes.
to. I think kind of a little splash here and there, put some color in this room. And Mike DeLay, the sound guy, already gave us the okay to like paint the walls and whatnot.
So we can kind of talk as we go, I think we'll just kind of end the show with us just kind of drawing and just kind of talking.
Yeah.
And
But
Yeah.
it's
people can
painting, not
listen.
drawing.
Painting.
Well,
Thank you.
or we can do
Yeah.
drawing. If,
I
if
wanna do
whatever
this
you
paint.
guys
I'll
want
ask
to
you a
do.
couple
Nice,
more
fine
wrap-up
art.
questions.
Yeah.
Maybe get a couple of drips all over DeLay's stuff. This is going to be cool, dude. And
Um,
DeLay already okayed it. I talked to him. He
Yeah.
wanted, because he said mainly the
No,
wood.
he
He
did
did. He said mainly the wood behind Matty. I want like different colors on it from splatter. And then he also said, if you get on the floor, leave it. He said that. Ask him. DeLay, you there?
Mike, is that true? Yeah. No, I
Okay,
don't.
see,
I think this
it is true.
Lies.
And he said, if
All
you
right.
get it on the
Well, you
microphone.
can grab your equipment.
Yeah.
and-
It's not rocket science.
We're gonna make a little inky abstract.
Cool.
Okay, cool.
I'm scared a little.
Don't be scared.
Do you call your mommy?
So
Rude.
there's a couple techniques you can do. The one that everybody loves me doing on TikTok, I'll start with that one.
Okay.
Usually when I'm in my studio, I wouldn't be so precious. So right now I'm
You're always precious,
No,
and
I'm-
don't you know
I'm
it?
just so okay. Anyway, I'm gonna load the brush with ink.
Okay.
This is gonna be a wet on dry technique.
Wet on dry. The wet dry look.
Because normally I would just dunk it, but
Like Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh, fun.
actually, you know what? I know what I'm gonna do. So the brush is loaded.
Do you have any? Should we
Ready?
put it in a bowl
Yeah.
or something?
No.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
No.
I knew that. That's why I suggested just for
Okay.
Yeah.
jokes.
Let her.
Oh my God, I'm getting shy. What are you doing?
She's doing her art.
I'm scared.
Can you describe what you're kind of doing just for the listeners?
Yeah. So
Whoa.
right now I just took the ink bottle and I squirted ink very carelessly so I don't have any control. And then I'm gonna do a little dunky dunk.
Why are we doing it like this? You're scaring me.
That's how you do art.
Okay, so from there,
That's how you do it.
I got another one under here.
Is it done?
No, it's not done,
Oh,
but it's
okay.
wet. So
It's wet. I don't like this.
I told you it would get splattery. You said it was okay. I asked you.
I was lying. That's
You
what
said
I
it was
do.
okay.
No, it looks cool, but I'm scared.
So there you go. So that's how you start.
You drop it on there.
Yeah. Luckily, this is water, so it will
That's
wash off.
water-based.
It's water based.
So anyway, so you start. The best way to start this is a mess. So you want it as like quick. Don't think about it as, it's called automatic painting, automatic drawing. It's from the Surrealist. So you're not really supposed to be thinking or doing anything.
Let's
like,
do
with
this.
thought.
That's perfect for me.
So I'm gonna give that, and then you can also just
Okay.
spray the ink too. So like sometimes having ink already on there helps. But
Okay.
then like see how this has like a puddle on it? I'm gonna
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let the puddle.
What are you doing with this?
She's tapping it to. She's free flowing here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I also just don't want to wait for that puddle to dry.
Yeah.
So and then sometimes I'll.
Oh, my God. Now you're doing... This is crazy talk.
But look, now I have like a nice gray muted color to work with. So now when I work on top, it'll look like it's background or it'll give it more value. And also now that it's dry-ish, I can then I really like this shape that's happening here.
Yeah?
So then I'll kind of mimic it.
You're just kind of doing the shape with it.
Yeah. I've never actually described it while I was doing it before, so this is tricky.
Is it fun? Does it describe
okay.
or you
Well, you
don't
don't-
like it?
No, I just never.
you don't have
so
to.
usually, I didn't realize when I make my videos, I do the art and then I'll do a voiceover after I'm done.
okay.
Ah.
So it
We
gives.
could do it that way if you'd
Yeah,
like.
whatever you want.
No, it's okay. I keep it as honest as possible because it's fine. So then I really like this line over here. So then I'll just keep going.
Just define it a little.
Yeah, yeah. So then like this one, is this one still kind of, yeah, this is still wet, so.
Oh my Lord. So you define the line and then you put that back on. What if it...
If you're having fun, like you feel like you're 2, then you're doing it right.
Hey.
How about
I
that?
love it.
I like this.
So I wish I had more ink for everybody.
No, it's okay.
Hey, I'm glad to have a little.
Thank you. That's very cool.
Yeah, I should have gotten a couple more bottles. So I guess maybe like you can either drip it on, you can.
Okay.
I like when you drip it first. If you need to squirt from.
He's bottling it up. It's
not coming
here,
out.
Matty.
What?
Squirt. Get some from here too.
Oh,
get some
okay.
water. I think.
Like suck it
Yeah.
up or something.
It was just like a bubble.
Yeah, and then.
All right, I got my little. What is this thing called? A little dropper.
Yeah.
Dropper. Yeah.
Got my dropper, and I'm gonna make some art. I
That's
feel like
cool.
Salvador Dali.
Here.
Well, that's not how you
Let me
spell
see
his
if
name.
I can. Let me see if I can load it for
Oh,
you. So.
yeah. All right, she's gonna load it up like
Yeah.
a squirt gun.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Oh, I see.
This is fun. All right.
You gotta,
I'm gonna
yeah.
do my
and
art.
Do it like a shoot. Do it fast.
Like a shoot.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
V for Vendetta.
Yeah, there you
VS.
go.
That
I
looks
feel
cool.
like Salvador Dali over here.
And
Don't
then
be saying that.
if you
don't
want,
like
you
that.
can always take one of the brushes.
Okay.
Like
Yeah, I
like
feel
how
good
I
ab-
did it,
Okay.
and then you can make a splat.
Well, I don't want to splash too much. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
kind of go like.
There you go.
I don't want Mike to kick.
To give you a kiss?
No, to kick us out.
Mike, when Mike gets mad, he just gives you a kiss. It's the kiss of death.
Well, I only did the one
You
splash.
did
so
to me. Yeah, you only did the one splash.
I did try to keep it controlled.
No, you did. You were
You
great.
were awesome.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Don't you worry.
I'm worried about me. You know.
Don't be rude, Matty.
What?
And these are
So
great.
sorry.
These are I use my left hand a lot on these.
Okay, so can I just do this without a... Can I just do this now, or do I have to do it in
Yeah.
the water?
You want to describe what you're doing for the audience? Anthony?
Yeah, I have the eyedropper, the Black Magic.
Yeah,
And,
it's ink.
It's ink. And then you do this.
That looks awesome. High five.
Thanks.
Then you have a bit of a dropper, and then you do scrinskon. Scrinskon. Squirt.
He's dropping it.
But
His
some of
ink
it's-
on the-
And remember when I said if you get like a puddle or something, sometimes it's fun to like drip it, and then you get
Oh,
these
cool.
cool lines that go with the gravity. Yeah,
It kind of bubbles up,
and you
though.
can
I
like
worry about that.
flip it around. Like don't get too stuck on like one position. Like look at it in different angles. Like now I like it like this.
Mm.
Like I started this way. Now I'm flipping it upside down, and it's like a really good way to just get your creative juices flowing without feeling like a lot of people get creative burnout or just, you know, art block. Yeah, that's great.
That's really good, Anthony.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Just feel it.
Feel it out, yeah.
And sometimes you can take a dry brush too. A dry brush is fun too when it's already wet, and then it'll sop it up and like dry it up.
Oh, cool.
Like, let's see.
Anthony's having convulsions.
Shut up.
Now we're not gonna make fun.
No,
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
kidding. I love
Thank you.
We're not gonna make fun of him.
Thank you.
He's in his moment. He's having his moment.
It's a
How do you do it?
gentle
Just a drop?
roast.
I would use this one for a drop. It's got, well, you gotta like, you know where the brush is. Cause you want the bristles to hit. It's so funny for me to
Beautiful.
go from like classical like training of still lives and portraits to doing this.
This
kind of-
is fun.
Yeah, but that's like the best part. Okay.
Okay.
You don't want to lose all your whites because all your white space, your negative space there. So that
Yeah.
way you have something to play
That looks
with.
good.
Thank you. Is it
Like,
nice?
see, now you
looks
have.
great.
Is it too much? Did I go overboard?
No, you did
No.
not go overboard.
Now
There's
do
no.
this?
There's no too much. Yeah, you can even flip it upside down and put it on your.
Okay, now it's Mike's turn. Mike, come try it out, buddy.
And like Matty, with yours too, it's like you can always go back in and draw on top too.
Did I mess
You
up?
know?
Huh? No, that
No,
looks
that looks
good.
cool. That looks great.
That looks cool. Let me see yours, Anthony. That's really cool. Will you
Yeah.
trade?
Yeah, no.
Yours looks better.
Yeah.
It does look very nice.
What?
It does look very nice.
Yeah, we
actually.
can trade. So you
Now
guys
what do
wanna
I
draw
do?
on mine?
Well, no, what do I do next?
Well, the thing is, you shouldn't ask me what you should do next. You should just feel like.
No, I
you
mean,
have-
how do I have a
And-
thing to define?
Oh,
Mike,
here.
do you have a piece of paper for Mike?
Are
that
these-
you
One's
can-
gray and the other ones are black.
do-
You can also use more of this.
And now, is this just the outline?
Yeah, give it a try, Mike.
Is this the dropper?
That's the dropper.
Yeah, so
Mike
here.
is taking
here,
the
you need
dropper.
you can either do it with the water or the bottle.
All right, let's go.
Did you squeeze some in?
Oh, he's a
there you
natural.
go.
Mike. Wow.
Yeah.
Mr. Dali over here.
Very nice, bud. Proud
This
of
is
you,
the
buddy.
fun. This is the fun one to like. If you want to load it up.
Oh, cool.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
There we go.
Very cool, Mike.
Yeah.
Nice, Mike.
Yeah.
There we go.
I like that brush because it feels good. You know, when you get it in there, it's
weighty.
like, yeah, it's weighted.
This is awesome.
Yeah. Look at you. Yeah. See, now you're drawing on it.
Yeah, this is
It's kind of fun, a
fun.
little draw.
And you can always, like, when you have, like, so see how you have a puddle there?
Mhm.
Watch this. This is really fun. You can take the ink, just put some ink, like, in your puddle and
In this
watch it do
Oh,
stuff.
yeah, it gets weird.
Yeah, it gets a little drippy. And then you can drag that through it. Or a brush. A dry brush will help sop it up, too.
What happened?
Listen, I love when people say they're not creative and then all of a sudden you get them doing this activity and they're so creative.
Yeah, Mike's killing it. I think we have an artist here.
This
Oh,
is
I'm
fun,
gonna start
too.
calling him Magic Mike.
Magic
Can I use that one there?
Very cool.
There are other surrealist methods I should think of. Because that whole series that I did of these, so I made over 1,000 black and whites. I had a professor who was like, if you want to challenge yourself, you should make 1,000 of something. So I actually ended up making like over 1,000 black and white
Wow.
abstracts.
That's fun.
And then
That's a lot.
Yeah, and then I picked 88 of my favorites. There's only, actually, out of this collection, there's only now, I think, 30 left, maybe less than 30.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so, and each one has, like, a property, so a surrealist method property where I distinguished what method I used. So the whole series ended up being called The Window onto the Marvelous.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's cool.
Yeah, and that's on my TikTok a lot, and I also included it. It's on my website, so.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Sweet. Awesome. Thank you. These
Yeah.
are cool.
I love when the brush is already loaded, so I just dunked it in water, and now I'm getting like more like grays, like not so black.
Yeah, I like. Is this something I can use? Is this already been
use
used?
everything. Use everything.
Okay, here goes now.
Let it go.
Whoa.
Wow,
Oh,
that's
Wow,
a cool
Chris.
one.
Wow, Chris.
Chris, I didn't know you had it in you, bud.
Well,
Actually,
I kind of
really
like those
surprised.
bubbles. I would rub those bubbles on it.
Yeah.
Maddie, I'm actually very surprised because I didn't think Chris had it in him.
Yeah.
No, he definitely.
And then
does.
you
He
can
does.
always load this
Proud of
guy
you,
up
Chris.
okay.
Look at Chris.
if you want to use that one to splatter.
And then you drop it. Is that what you
Yeah,
do?
whatever you want to do. I feel like
Chris.
I feel like I'm already telling you guys too much.
Chris gets wild, man. That's his problem.
You're
'Cause-
giving away too many secrets.
Yeah, no, I mean like because it's an ink. So if it's an ink blot test, you're supposed to be like, okay, what do I see in these marks, you know, and then like go with your
Very
imagination.
cool.
That's
Oh,
see
that's the
see
eyes
for
of
me.
Tammy Faye.
For me, I would love that by itself. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't mess too much
Yeah.
with that
Yeah.
one.
Chris is a natural. Look
Yeah.
at that.
That's very good,
Yeah.
Chris.
At the eyes of Tammy Faye.
Oh my God, that is like a good old.
Wow.
Yeah, you did great.
Chris
See, that's
is a savant.
so that's another thing
$20.
too.
You know, I call
Is
him
sometimes
that,
like
so
less
rude.
is more.
You call
That's
Chris
why I
savant?
make so many of them.
Let's
Yeah.
see
If you
your
want, you can do
hand.
another.
I'm
Bit of a
good.
savant.
That's incredible.
You're like, I nailed
I
it.
don't think I can top this.
Yeah, you're like I nailed it.
Bit of a
Feel like
savant.
Anthony's a savant too.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh wow. That's good.
Wow.
How do I
Crushing
fix it?
Very cool.
I love it.
Okay.
There is no fixing.
What now? Do I just keep it like this, or do I do other things?
Whatever you want. He did like a few marks and he loves it already, so he's done. So this is back to when we were talking about how do you know a piece is finished.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's finished when you are done doing things to it. Like you feel like you've exhausted all of your energy.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So
Amazing. So just to kind of wrap up the interview, what advice would you give an artist?
Don't stop.
Don't stop.
Don't stop. Always, even if you do stop, your mind will never stop thinking about art. So
Yeah.
I can say it again if you.
No, that was good.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I think life is hard and the world is not really kind to artists. Especially, you know, the way we're supposed to just make money and that's life, you know. Art is not about profit usually. So, I mean, it's about emotional and happiness, profit. So, don't stop. Keep creating even if you have to, you know, work a 9 to 5.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And where can people find you? Where can people buy your art and where?
Buying from me on my website's the best way to go because then you support me directly. I do a bunch of other things, but my website it's KristaAwad.com, and I have a shop on there where you can get prints, originals, stickers, pins, like all the fun stuff. So.
Awesome.
And then I think we'll be at the Everly Hotel next month.
Yeah.
So it should be, I think it's going to be every month. I'm pretty sure it is.
I think it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Monthly. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Awesome. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Krista. You're incredible. You're amazing. Thank you
Thank
so much
you.
for coming in. And
I had a lot of fun.
that was really cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
You're the best.
Wow.
Very cool.
See, I see I don't know why, I see like 2 little people duking it out in the middle there.
Oh yeah, boxers.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
And then the ref.
Oh, yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah,
Thanks, Matty.
yeah.
Let me see
Oh,
yours.
Matty put one of his faces in there.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Matty has those signature little happy dude.
Let me see that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool, Matty. A little
yeah.
happy guy
Yeah,
in there.
yours reminds me more of like science and like a nervous system, but then
Ah.
like a little amoeba dude running
Can I
the
see
show.
that on there?
Yeah.
You
Bunch
know
of
where you got to put that good
amoebas.
old Anderson, Indiana.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank
you so much.
I hope you guys all continue to make lots of art.
I like this.
Thank you.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Thanks, Krista. All right. Thank you and take care and be
Yeah.
well and high fives.
High
You
fives.
rock.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, yeah, that's your bad
I
hand.
know it was my bad.
Oh gosh, are
It's
you okay?
Yes, it's a
Okay.
terrible habit to.
Okay.
But it didn't hurt.
All right. Cool.
You're
All
okay.
Do you
right.
want to redo a high five
Yeah,
proper one?
yeah.
What, just in case to make it hurt? Come on now. Matty, don't touch the art.
You know, it's it's your right hand. It's my dominant hand. I always forget. So.
Thank you so much, Krista.
Thanks,
You
Matty.
rock.
It's not rocket science.
Not rocket science. Science. Not rocket science.
It's not rocket science. It's not
Not
rocket science. It's not rocket science.